Hey guys, this is going to be a review of Lumiere by Jacqueline Garlick, which I got for review through NetGalley, so I read it on my phone and don't actually have anything to show you, which is a shame because the cover is actually really pretty. And I was actually really hesitant to read this one because this is the start of a series, and I was thinking just before starting this about how I am reading way too many series right now, and there are way too many series that I need to get caught up on and get more books from to read and things like that, and it's really a lot to even keep track of. I can't even really remember all of the series I'm reading. So the last thing I really needed was to start another one, but I saw this book on NetGalley and it intrigued me, and I wound up reading it anyway, and I really liked it. So now I'm gonna have to read all of the other books in the series, and yeah. One of the things that really drew me into this story immediately is the fact that it is steampunk. And steampunk is something that I've always found really intriguing, but I don't really read that much of it because I just never really come across steampunk books, and I don't wind up reading them and things. The most steampunk thing I really can think of that I enjoy was Cora, which is a TV show, obviously. But I've always been intrigued about the idea of steampunk. I just never really seem to read that much of it because I never really find steampunk books to read, although I do have a few on my TBR. Another thing that was really interesting to me pretty much right from the beginning of the story, at the very beginning there's a character who is clutching, I don't remember if it was a crucifix or just a cross, but talking about people being accused as witches. They have stocks in the middle of town for people who are accused to be Valkyries, and everyone's super suspicious of witchcraft, and it's presented as this terrible thing. And they do have religion, they're all Christian. There's this huge suspicion of Valkyries, because they can do magic and everything like that in the story, but I just found it really interesting. I've never really read a fantasy book like that has had Christianity in it, and it was interesting how that was factored in and how this fantasy world still had this suspicion of magic and things like that. And this book does take place in a fictional universe. They live in the Commonwealth is what they call it, and you have Brethren, which is the big powerful center, and then having trouble remembering what's outside of Brethren now, but it's the working class sort of people. And then beyond that you have a area that's pretty much deserted, but some people live there sort of thing. And so you have these tiers of society. And so it's a fictional country and things like that, but they also set it up as if it's inside the existing world. That was probably the most confusing part of the story to me, and the one thing that didn't really work for me. I know there's one part where, one of the characters is making something out of bamboo, and he says something about bamboo coming from the east, and he just refers it to the east, and there's no specific reference to a country. But obviously when you're reading the book and you hear him talking about bamboo coming from the east, and you're thinking about Asia, but there's no real knowledge if he is talking about Asia as we know it, and where this country is in relation to everything else. And there were a few moments like that where it seemed to be trying to set this fictional country up as being a part of the real world in some ways, and I didn't really, I don't know, it didn't really work for me personally. In most cases I would prefer either something to be explicitly in our world or completely separate from it. The weird in-betweenness of, is this a part of our world or is it not, was kind of off-putting for me, but not enough that it didn't really enjoy the book for a ton of other reasons. The other thing that I thought was pretty awesome, the main character has epilepsy in this book, and that's a huge thing for her. She has seizures throughout the book, and she's always she can tell when they're coming on, and she gets really worried because they'll happen during important things, and she's trying to hide it. So if the people find out that she has seizures, she risks being locked in a mental hospital for madness. So obviously she is trying very hard to avoid having seizures in front of people, but she can't actually avoid it. So there is that sort of like high stakes kind of thing where she has epilepsy, and she knows that it's not like a sign of madness. She knows that it's like a medical sort of thing, but she's living in like constant fear that if they find out that she has epilepsy, then she will be locked away forever. And so it's something that she's had to hide her whole life. Only her parents have known about it, and it's just this thing that she's had to like shove away, and it's been like a huge burden on her, and that is really dealt with in the story, and I really liked that. And then she finds Ehrlich, whose face is, he has, I guess they would be considered birthmarks. He has like marks on his face from that he's had since birth. So that's why I'm assuming they're just like birthmarks, but he's always felt ostracized because of that, and also because his mom died during childbirth. His mom died during childbirth, and he was born with the birthmarks, and his dad kind of rejected him, so he's been living with that his whole life. And then they meet, and there are other people living in the house as well. It really helps her accept her epilepsy, I think, being around these other people who have a lot, who all have handicaps of their own, and seeing them like they're all, even though they've kind of been ostracized by the rest of society, they've come together with them. And so once she's with them and she kind of has this like support from them, it really helps her, I think, and helps her feel more accepted. And I found all of the characters in this book to be such great characters. I don't know when the last time I was really rooting for two characters to get together as I was in this book. Like, they were such a great couple, and I loved them together, and I loved their dynamics and how their relationship played out, and just pretty much everything about it was great, I think. And I just really loved it, and I was really happy, and it was really nice to read because it had been such a long time since I'd had that feeling while reading. Just the feeling of being so invested in characters' lives, and also being so invested in like a couple in a book, like both of those things. It feels like it's been such a long time since it's really happened to me like that, and so I really appreciated this book for that. And I just really thought this was a really great book, and I'm really excited to read the second one. Don't know when I'm gonna get to it. I don't even know if it's out yet. I haven't looked, because if I see that it's out, it's just going to make me want it more, and I don't need that because I have so many other things that I need to read and so many other series that I need to get through. But hopefully I can finish this one somewhat soon, because I really want to read book 2. I think that is all, so I will see you guys later. Bye.